Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to the club brought to you with Polka Stars. And we are here in Barcelona for a very, very special occasion. We thought if we're coming to Barcelona, why not meet up with a legend of these parts? And we have done just that. But not only is he a legend in Barcelona, he's a legend in Manchester, having won the double with Manchester United, including the European Cup in '08, a world champion, a European champion. He's won the lot. We are with Gerard Piqué. Gerard, welcome to the club. Hope you're doing well. Absolute pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you very much.
Rory, Buvey, Adam.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on. Really, really grateful. It's quite rare that you genuinely end up in the presence of an icon. I mean, you two aside, of course.
Yeah, what can I say?
But a genuine icon. Gerard, we have so much to talk about, and obviously you've contributed so much to football. But if you don't mind, I'd love to start a conversation around a new project of yours called the Kings League.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I've kind of done a little bit of research. It seems like a really interesting, exciting, innovative new concept of football.
Yeah, in a way it's football because it's around a ball and you have to put the ball inside the goal, but there are so many things that are different. And it's kind of a video game inside real life. We have last 2 minutes of the first half, you throw a dice, and if it's a 3, then the game goes 3 against 3. It's very wild because it can be 1 versus 1 in a pitch of a 7 versus 7 because the competition is 7 against 7. The last 2 minutes of the game, every goal counts double, meaning that if you are winning, if you are losing 4-0, you have 2 goals and you can draw the game. So, I mean, it's very different from football, but there are some things that maybe you can understand that are similar. But at the end of the day, it's a new concept and it's working very well. And all the young generations that are coming here in Spain and Latin America, because everything is in Spanish, everyone is following. So
I like the start. I like the way that it starts. Have you seen how it starts? It's just an amazing race, isn't it? Have you seen
race
where
from the
it kicks
back
off?
to the middle.
yeah, it's like water polo. You know water polo?
Yeah.
A little bit like this, the ball in the middle,
Everyone
the players in the line, and all of a sudden it's like Formula 1. You have the green light, red light, green light, and then players start running, and who arrive first take the ball.
Have you got any plans to bring it to the UK? Because I think the kind of format that it is, it's so exciting. I think UK audiences would love it, you know, in
Yeah,
country.
for 2024, the plans is to launch it. In fact, we already launched it in LATAM, in Latin America, and we are starting on January 2024. And then the idea is to go to US and UK. Rio Ferdinand started to ask about it a few months ago, and we are in conversations with him because...
It's an exclusive. Kings League exclusive on the club, really?
No, I mean, I have a very good relationship with him when I was at Manchester United, and really, I mean, I think that he's doing great also, what he's doing, so I think that we can work it out together, yeah.
Sounds very exciting. I like the idea of...
I love it, yeah. Yeah. I was wondering in terms of like any UK football legends that you'd like to see involved in terms of ex-players. Obviously, I'm a City fan, so seeing Aguero involved is incredible for me. Are there any kind of names maybe that you'd like to see involved in the future?
Well, I mean, during this first 6 months of life that Kings League has, we had the opportunity to bring Ronaldinho. He played 1 game, and the views, it was amazing. I mean, how he played, and we put different people, I don't know, dancing samba when he arrived to the stadium, because the thing is that we can be very flexible. It's, as I said before, it's different than football. I mean, we can stop the game and all of a sudden 10 minutes to present Ronaldinho, these kind of things that obviously football cannot do, because it's more a show, but also it's competitive. We brought Pirlo, we brought Shevchenko, we brought Chicharito. So a lot of legends had the opportunity to play, and really it had a great impact. But it's true that Iker Casillas or Kun Agüero, that they are owners of the club. They are much more involved because they have to play every Sunday, not as players, but they are the presidents and they have to follow the games. It's been amazing that these kind of players have been involved in the competition.
Ronaldinho feels like the perfect style of player for that format, doesn't it? You know, all the skills, tricks, flicks. Is that what a lot of the players are like? Or is it a very tactical game?
I mean, it's a mix between a lot of young players that they want, I mean, that they really go there and they fight for their life to win the games. And then there are the veterans, which is players that have been professionals at that time and now they want to keep playing. players that played in Espanyol, a lot of them, Corominas, Lopo, I mean, players that maybe they don't have the international recognition, but here in Spain they are very popular. And that mix works very well because the young lads put the stamina, the hard work, and the other ones the quality. So it's a very good, I would say, quality if you see the games. And every time more players from the traditional football 11, as we understand here in Spain, they go to play Kings League.
What sold out Nou Camp?
Yeah, we played the first, because the competition is basically 12 clubs, and it's a private league. There is no promotion and relegation. And then the 8 first teams qualify for the playoff. And it's just one leg, so you play 11 games for regular season, and then there is quarterfinals, and then the final 4, which we played in Camp Nou, the first one in 26th of March, and we put 92,000 people in the stadium. Amazing. So it was crazy.
Is that beyond your expectations? Did that go further than you anticipated?
Much more. I mean, I really thought, and because this is why we invested, but I really thought that this will work, but not so quick. I mean, we got a lot of attraction since day one, and as I said before, I mean, the young generation, the guys of 10, 12, 15, 18, that maybe they feel that football, in a way, it's a little bit boring because there is a lot of stoppage time. There is, out of the 90 minutes, you play 50 minutes. Here in Spain, there is a lot of injuries, a lot of, it's difficult for the young generations to engage with football, so they understand and they feel that this kind of format works much better for them.
What have you made, this is off the topic of Kings League, but kind of on it, you mentioned the time wasted in football. Recently, in the Premier League, there's been complaints from like Rafael Varane because we're seeing like 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you think that's a good thing that they're adding the time back on, a bad thing?
Well, I think that referees have to punish much more when someone that is winning and is trying to lose a little bit of time, just with a yellow card, that's it.
Yeah.
It's the only way to stop that. In Spain, it's much worse than Premier League.
Yeah. Atletico Madrid, big ones. They came to Old Trafford and the ball was in play for about 10 minutes.
Exactly. No, it's like this. And there is much more fouls because in Spain, if you touch a little bit, the player falls. And in England, the referee is completely different. But we have that discussion recently here in Spain. The first game of the league, it was Getafe versus Barça, that it was 0-0. And Getafe tried to not play during the whole game. I mean, so this plays against the spectacle and the show and I think it's not good for football. So I think that there is an opportunity. As I say, I don't want to compare with football because we are totally different. But to create a product that is much more dynamic, that no one is losing time, because if you lose time, then the referee really punish you, these kind of things. And as I said before, I mean, we did Camp Nou, 92,000 people. Then we did the second split, which is basically the same, finishing at the end of July, 29th of July, and we did it in the Atletico Madrid Stadium in Metropolitano. We put nearly 60,000 people, sold out again. And now we're starting the Cup next weekend. The 10th of September, we're starting a Cup. It's a shorter one, a new format. But the final, we will announce it soon. We cannot say where, but it will be another big stadium. And it will work.
Where can people watch Kings League?
In Twitch, in YouTube, and in TikTok. We want to be free for everyone. This is another thing that I think that the model of traditional football is going to pay-per-view, and obviously, I mean, the clubs need money for all these transfers, and this is the big deals with televisions. Because we believe that we are very new, what we want is to go to free-to-air to everyone that can watch, and Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube is, as you know, free to everyone, and this is why we chose to do it in those platforms.
That's amazing.
Right, let's get stuck in. We want to create Gerard Piqué's dream 7-a-side Kings League team. Players that you've played with, maybe players that you'd wish would come to the league. Have you got that in mind? Do you want us to work on out your 7-a-side team?
Well, I mean,
would you be in it, first of all?
No, I don't like to be. I don't like to be there. No, I prefer to choose, if you want, 7 players that I played with them. That for me, I mean, are top in the history of that game, which is football. Maybe the keeper would be Iker Casillas. Defenders, maybe Rio Ferdinand and Puyol.
Wow.
It's not bad, that centre-half part.
No, and also, I mean, for me, them two, they've been like, in a personal way, very important for me because I learned a lot from them. I was very young when I arrived at Manchester United, and Rio really helped me on that. And also then when I joined Barcelona, I was 21, and Carles Puyol was already captain and also helped me a lot to start my career there. So yeah, them two, I mean, for me, have been two incredible centre backs and big reference for me. Then in the midfield, I would say Cesc Fabregas because it's like a brother, and I think that in the Premier League he's been one of the greatest midfields. In Arsenal, his first years was incredible. I would say Iniesta. Because, well, I mean...
Because it's Iniesta.
He basically brought us the World Cup, and with that goal is more than enough. But the quality that he had, it's just amazing. It's like he stopped the game and he played alone. And then maybe I would say Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, and that's it.
Wow.
Not a bad thing.
Not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say Wayne Rooney, I would say a lot of players, but I can just put 7. But yeah, I had the opportunity to play against a lot of incredible players.
I'm so glad you've said Rooney there, you know. Like, because out of all the players you've said, like, to just... Because Wayne Rooney was an unreal footballer.
No, for me was as a guy to talk with. At that time when I was at Manchester United, he was very young. I remember that he was playing incredibly well, but then, I mean, his personal life all the time in the tabloids and in the press. But then when you met him one-on-one in the dressing room and you talked to him, the guy was incredible.
A lot of people say he's a joker as well. Like.
Yeah, we laughed so much during that time. And I was very, very new there. I arrived when I was 17. He was very young at the time also. My English wasn't good. But yeah, he helped me a lot to arrive to the club and to have good relationship with all the teammates, and he was a superstar.
It's an amazing move to make at 17 years old, to leave everything that you knew to go to Manchester. How did that all come about?
And to be fair, if I would have all the information, maybe I would stay because
don't say that,
it was tough. No. no. But now I would say that it changed my life, and it helped me a lot to be the player that then later I became. So I would never change that. But if I put myself when I was 17 to take that decision, if I would know how much I would suffer the first year or the first 2 years, then possibly I would have stayed.
What was it that you suffered with? Was it a change?
No, the way for me, I left everything. I left my friends, I left my family. I arrived there alone. The first year, until you are 18, the club puts you in a family, so they take care of you.
Pigs, is it?
And and it was tough. It was it was difficult. And then I wanted to play. I was not playing. I was very young at the time. My English wasn't the best. The weather is totally different. The food is totally different. So for me, the first year and a half, it was difficult to try to settle in. But then, really, I mean, it helped me a lot. I think that brought me that kind. You need to be tough in life, and I was in a bubble here in Barcelona. I was with my family, with my friends. I was very protected, and you really need to make this step in order to success in life. And I think that it helped me a lot, and it changed me completely. And I suffered, but it helped me a lot during my career. So, as I say, I will never regret my move because it helped me a lot. But it's true that if I bring myself when I was 17, maybe if I know what would happen, maybe I would take another decision. But I'm very I'm very happy of make that move, and with Manchester United, I always said that it's my second club after Football Club Barcelona. I mean,
What's
I
it like
enjoyed
being
a lot.
managed by Sir Alex Ferguson in that kind of period of your life? You know, you're so young. He's one of the great managers of all time. Did he help you in that way, kind of being managed by someone so, such a strong manager, such a strong-minded manager?
Yeah, he helped me a lot because he was like a father to me and to all the young lads that arrived to the club. Because he's a different. I mean, he wasn't a coach. He was a manager, and with all, what does it mean? No, manager meaning that he controlled the whole club. He controlled if the food was good, if that guy didn't sleep last night because he was partying. He controlled absolutely everything, and that helps you to grow and to be a better player and to look after yourself. And I think that, his career has proven that he's been one of the best coach or managers in the history of the Premier League and in the history of football. And if you compare later with the coaches that I had, for example, Pep Guardiola, which I believe that he's a genius and that he's an incredible coach, but it's different from Sir Alex Ferguson. The functions, what Sir Alex did to Manchester United is different from what, for example, Pep Guardiola was doing at that time at Barcelona when I played for him.
The youth team that you played for, was it Piqué or Piqué, Evans, Rossi? Was it Giuseppe Rossi and Evans?
Yeah, Rossi played there. There was a Belgian player that was Flo Galula. There were different players Jonathan Spector.
Yeah.
American one.
Scored twice against us for West
Ryan
Ham.
Shawcross, then he came later. I think that he played for Stoke. Yeah, there were some different good players. I remember that when I arrived, Chris Eagles was there. I don't know if you remember him. Anderson arrived. You remember Anderson? The Brazilian.
Yeah.
He was very young. He scored a penalty in the final of Champions League against Chelsea.
So relaxed as well, wasn't he? He's run up, he smashed it in the top corner, and it was like
At that
he'd
time,
just been brought on for that.
At that time, there were a lot of young, incredible talents. I remember Nani, Cristiano Ronaldo arrived. He was very young at the time. He was 19, I think. You had Rooney. You had, incredible young players.
Was Fergie the right man for you at that time then?
Yeah, for sure. Fergie helped all of them, and not just me, but all of them to become the players that we became later on. It's true that then I left after the Premier League and the Champions League, and Manchester United, I think they won. I don't know if it's one or two more Premier Leagues, but then they suffered a little bit more. One more.
And then Chelsea won the double.
Yeah.
He was our third in a row after that. Yeah. He's a Chelsea fan.
They won one more and then Chelsea won the double.
Remind him about 08, though. Remind him about 08.
Yeah, you brought up Moscow. I had to get that in.
Can I talk selfishly about Man City? Because obviously we won the treble with Guardiola. Did you see that happening when he arrived in England? Obviously a lot of trepidation about if he could play that style of football in England. I always believed, based on what I saw you guys do with Guardiola at Barcelona, did you see that kind of treble coming, the 100-point season? Did you see that success coming for Pep?
Yeah, I knew it would happen. I knew that it will not happen the first year because English football is totally different from Spanish, and you need to adapt to that. That doesn't mean that you cannot bring what Pep had in his mind to UK. That I totally believe at the time that he will do it, but that it will take time. And I knew that because I remember when David Silva, for example, arrived to the Premier League, everyone was saying, the kind of player that he is, the profile, he's very Spanish in a way of playing, and he will not succeed in the Premier League. And he showed that everyone was completely wrong. It happened the same with Santi Cazorla, with Arsenal. These kind of players that in Spain and in the national team work very well, they arrive to the Premier League and they all succeed. So I knew that Pep will arrive, will start to sign players that can help him to play the way he wants to play. I knew it would take time because you have to sign those kind of players, and this you don't do it in 1 year. You need different seasons to establish the players, to adapt to the Premier League. And now you can see the results after 6-7 years. I think that he's been the manager. He he's doing great and he's winning most of the titles. So it's
Crazy, isn't it?
You know, when you are around talent such as, you mentioned being around a really young Wayne Rooney, a really young Cristiano Ronaldo, at that point, could you see that the career that they were on, could you see that the talent was there and the career trajectory? Like, could you see that Cristiano Ronaldo was arguably going to go on to become the greatest player that the world has ever seen at that tender age, or did it develop into something that
I mean, you can see the talent that they have and you can see the mentality, and this is, I mean, I would say the most important thing, the talent and the mentality of a player. But in a career, everything can happen. You can have a difficult injury, you can have a manager that for whatever reason hates you and doesn't want you to succeed. I mean, there is a lot of things that you cannot count at that time when you are very young. But you can, I mean, I was coming from Barcelona when I was 17, and I played the last 4 years in the academy with Messi. And I saw that talent. And then I arrived and I started playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, and I saw that talent. So it was funny because when Messi played his first game for first team of Football Club Barcelona, I was in the house, in that family that I told you, with some of my teammates, and Messi came in and I said, listen, these guys will change football. And everyone, yeah, whatever. The only question is, can he bring what he is doing in the young age to the first team? Because this jump to professional football is tough, it's quite tough. And Messi at the time, he was not strong, so you never know, no? But you can see how players develop and how they, from where they are coming to what they arrived. And I mean, it's not maths because there are different factors that you cannot control, but normally when Cristiano, just to put an example, arrived to Manchester United, you knew that he will be a great player. You don't know if he will change the history of the sport, but that he will succeed. I mean, this is something that you can be assured that he will do it.
He seemed to like luck in though at one point, didn't he? Because there was a period of time where I remember my dad moaning to me constantly, he's a one-trick pony, he's only doing step-overs, he's not going anywhere. And then the penny just seemed to drop and he just honed in.
Yeah, I think that there was a moment where he realized that if he wanted to really become the best one, he needed to score a lot of goals. And he started playing as a winger, but then in Real Madrid he played literally as a striker. And that change, I think that was very good for him because he started to suddenly score, 50, 60 goals per season and change his game. And I think this was the big difference. The same with Messi. The first years of Messi, he was playing as a winger coming in. And then when he realized that at the end of the day, the top players is the ones that score 50, 60, 70 goals, he started to play as a striker. But Guardiola put him as a fake nine, how he called it, which basically was a striker but coming to receive the ball in the midfield.
Do you think that was one of that team, when Lionel Messi came into it and Ronaldinho was there, in terms of just beauty and ballers, that's about as good as it gets, isn't it?
Messi, Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Messi.
Was that Rijkaard, was it?
Messi and Ronaldinho together, the thing, and I followed that time a lot because, I wasn't playing for Barca at the time because I was at Manchester United. In fact, we beat them in the semi-finals.
Oh, wait, Paul Scholes.
Before Moscow.
You've done it twice now.
Just keep bringing Moscow up.
That's twice. Yeah, one more, I'm out.
At that time, the thing is that Ronaldinho was a little bit going down already, and Messi wasn't at the top. He was starting, and he was very, very good. But it would be fun to see Ronaldinho and Messi at the top of their level at the same age. No? And it didn't happen. I mean, it was great to see that because the Champions League of 2006 that they beat Arsenal in the final in Paris, Messi, I think, is injured that day, and he didn't play, or if he played very little. But Ronaldinho at that time was at the top. But you had Eto'o, you had Deco, you had Xavi, you had Iniesta. I mean, that team of Barcelona was very, very good. Yeah. And then Ronaldinho left, and Messi is when he really became what he has become.
And he's doing amazingly well in America at the moment. Did you ever consider going over to the States?
No. I was very tired at that time. I needed to disconnect from football. But yeah, I knew. I mean, Messi, for me, it's been the greatest of all time. And after winning the World Cup, arriving to MLS, I knew that the impact will be great in terms of quality. The level there, it's not as in the Europe, so for him it's like peanuts.
You don't fancy a bit of the parties with David Beckham and all that? Like Miami? Sounds like a good life, that, isn't it?
I met with him 1 week ago. I was in Croatia in holidays, and I was having lunch next to him, and we talked a little bit. He's very excited with all this project in Miami, with Inter Miami, and he's happy now because he's winning. Before Messi arriving, they were the last. So,
because that Phil Neville, unfortunately, that's probably our fault.
Was there, wasn't he? Into Miami. Ryan Shawcross played there a few years ago.
Was he there?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
That's the second time they've come up today.
Yeah, Ryan Shawcross and Moscow are featured very heavily in this chat.
You've played, like we mentioned some of the names there, Ronaldo, Messi. Is there one player you didn't play with who you wish you got a chance to? I mean, you played with the two GOATs, but
I don't know. I mean, maybe Haaland or Mbappe, which are these new ones coming on. Because of our generation, I would say that I've been lucky to play with most of them. Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, maybe Steven Gerrard or, I don't know, Frank Lampard maybe. But
there you go. You got back in Rory's good books now.
Thank you.
We didn't mention, but the Scholes is another one that I played with, and the guy, how he passed the ball, it was completely incredible. So yeah, I've been very lucky to really share the dressing room to most of the big talents in my generation.
You know, in that Barcelona, the great Barcelona side that you were in, the treble-winning side, of those English midfielders, who would get into that midfield? Is it more Scholes? Would you have Gerrard's physicality?
Got to be Lampard.
Lampard's
goals,
I mean, it was so perfect. I mean, Busquets, Iniesta,
Couldn't
Xavi.
change it, could you? If you had to change it, is there any one English midfielder?
The thing is that we played in a way, I mean, it's very difficult to explain that, but players need their context, meaning that I think that Lampard or Gerrard in Premier League, incredible. If you bring them to Spain, they will need some time to adapt. I'm not saying that they will not be as good, but you will need them some time to understand the game and the way it's played, because it's different. You cannot play long balls in Spain, because if you play with Barca or Madrid, all the teams, they really defend like in their box. So you cannot really develop your qualities, because it's different. You have to play very short. And
Scholes was good at that, though, isn't it?
Scholes is much better on that. But the big qualities of those players like Steven or Frank Lampard, or scoring goals out of the box like Frank Lampard did a lot, it's more difficult in Spain, because really, I mean, you don't have even space to shoot, to strike the ball. And in the Premier League, the context is much in favor of them to really become the players that they've played. And the same for Iniesta and Xavi. If they played in the Premier League, they will need their time, because they are very clever, and at the end of the day, you realize what you need. But you need that time to really adapt to that football, because it's different. The style is different.
And what about now? You mentioned, I saw when you were talking on the overlap, that one day you would dream of being the Barcelona president.
Well, I always said that would be maybe one step in the future, but right now I'm really focused to be the president of the Kings League, which I'm focused 24 hours, 7 days a week on that. And let's see in the future. Barcelona for me has been, as I always said, my club. I was a fan since I was born. I was a member. And really I care about the club, and I think that it has a great potential. It's one of the biggest in the world. And has a different thing from all the others, and I think that we have to really keep that, which is that it's owned by the members of the club. It's not like any club in the Premier League that is owned by an owner. And this is difficult in the times that are coming, because I mean, all the money that are bringing the cities, the PSGs, I mean, it's difficult for football.
What do you make of that financial disparity, and like, because we see Barcelona having to do certain things just to keep up with everybody else and keep up with the high transfer. What do you think of that disparity between
I think that it has to be some regulation, and that right now it's tough to make it happen, because one thing is to regulate your own league, which in Spain is regulated, and in the Premier League now they are trying to regulate. But you also have to find a way to regulate the whole European football, because just to put you an example, if PSG is not regulated in France, then you go to compete in Champions League and they are not playing the same rules. It's very difficult for a club like Barcelona, that you don't have an owner that puts money, and you can only spend what you generate when you are competing against PSG. That obviously it's a different way of financing your club. So I think that UEFA and FIFA, they have to regulate that.
We have 2 questions for you before we wrap this, if you don't mind.
One is, can you talk about 08 again, please?
No, it's barred. It's banned. Any more, I won't be able to take it. Premier League winner, La Liga winner, and the Champions League winner.
That's 3.
I know, I just thought of an additional one, mate. I'm rolling with it.
Well, I mean, I would go for the easy one, City, and then Barca, La Liga, and, well, Champions League, it's not an easy one this year, but I would go for Barca also.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Didn't you win it at Wembley against Man United?
Oh, that's interesting. That was a great. That's a great day.
Pedro scored.
We don't talk about
Pedro.
09
David Villa, of course.
or 11.
Rooney scored a good goal.
We don't talk about 09
He
or
always
11.
bangs on about that goal.
You remember Iniesta in Stamford Bridge last
Oh,
month?
Michael Essien that day. Michael Essien scored the best goal of his life. No one remembers it. That was unbelievable.
If we played Chelsea that year instead of Barca, we beat them easy. And we get back-to-back
Hat
Champions
trick.
League.
You've done me 3 times. Yes, this is amazing.
Gerard, it's been an absolute pleasure to have
pleasure
you
was
on.
mine. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you to Polkstars, EPT Barcelona. This is the club. See you later.